Hi everyone, here we are in my garden again, and today I'd like to show you about a pretty amazing herb, one of my favourites, although I have a lot of favourites, and also how to make good quality liquid manure so we can mineralise our soils and our plants well so that the plants grow healthy and so we grow healthy eating those plants. One of the things I've noticed is that we tend to focus more on dense foods in the plant world, lots of nitrogenous matter and in our lives, a lot of proteins to make us grow quickly and big and strong, and the same with our plants, all the while forgetting that there's a principle in nature, the faster you grow, the less quality the tissues are, especially when we focus on protein or nitrogen and not on minerals. So in observing the plants as I have grown them, too much nitrogen, the plants grow quickly and they look lush, but they're very prone to disease, insect attack and other deficiencies and infection. And the same thing with humans. Tissues that are poor in quality, not enough minerals, too much protein, are prone to infection and other degenerative diseases. We grow quickly but degenerate equally quickly. So it's important, I think it's a fairly important factor to consider, one which we should be taking note of. So what I'm going to do now is show you that amazing herb and also the how to make a good quality liquid manure. Let's go. So here we have the herbs that I want to show you. These are two little kale plants and they're called black Tuscan Kale. Black Tuscan Kale is an awesome herb because it's very, very high in nutrition, and it's got an ORAC rating of about 1700, which is your oxygen radical absorbance capacity, the ability of a food to absorb free radicals in the body or neutralise free radicals in the body which damage our tissues and ultimately degenerate and age us. If you compare it to broccoli, broccoli has a rating of about 900, I believe. And broccoli is a highly nutritious food. So it'd have a rating of 1700, and that's because these leaves are so dark and full of vitamin A. And vitamin A, as you should know if you've been watching my videos, is the vitamin or the antioxidant which mitigates radiation damage and absorbs radiation. That's why it's found so prominently in the retinas of our eyes, which directly receives light rays, solar radiation. So black Tuscan Kale is pretty good. So here we have the ingredients necessary to make some good liquid manure. We have a bin with a lid to keep it sealed and stop the loss of moisture, a stirring stick which is just part of a shovel handle, the watering can which we use to transfer the manure onto our plants, some of the elements necessary to make it, and here we have cow manure. Cow manure, this is organic cow manure, is good because it's probably one of the milder of the animal manures. Now you don't have to use it if you don't want to. If you want to stay vegan, I can show you some herbs very shortly which can use to make a very good liquid manure, and which I use in my liquid manure anyway. But basically the cow manure acts as an inoculant, providing microbes which are very beneficial for the soil and also inoculate the soil. It's basically like a kickstart to the manure. And you only need, at most, 1/4 to 1/3 of the bag into a bin like that, and you keep stirring it up and you keep adding water to top it up, and that lasts for many, many, many months. The next ingredient here, very important ingredient, here we have, this is called critical elements, and it is a rock dust additive. So this is made by a friend of mine, and it contains 3 different types of volcanic rock dust, 2 of which are granite and basalt. But the good thing about these is that not only are they very rich in minerals, but the volcanic rock dust, in particular granite, is very rich in silicon dioxide or silica dioxide, which is quartz crystal, and that is known to capture the paramagnetic energies of life and resonate with those energies to really increase that life energy in your manure, which is then transferred onto the plants. So these are all mixed together, 1/3 to 1/4 of a bag of cow manure, several good decent handfuls of rock dust, all thrown into this drum or this bin and topped up with water and stirred around so that it ferments And I'll just show you inside, if you can see. This is one that I've been using now for several weeks, and it's a bit hard to see, but you can see bits of leafy herb matter in there, all broken down. It's a nice brown colour, and that definitely is due for a top-up. So here is one of the important ingredients, or a good ingredient for liquid manure, and this is alfalfa. Alfalfa is pretty magical because it has a root system which can penetrate down to 10 metres and therefore brings up lots of minerals. Alfalfa is a legume, and it fixes nitrogen. And so nitrogen is an important element of our manures, as well as those minerals which alfalfa brings up. And alfalfa even has iodine in it, believe it or not. Another one here below it is borage. This is only a young borage. But borage, not only are its leaves a good source of zinc, but I have heard in my readings and my wanderings that borage fixes potassium. So potassium is one of the other elements of most fertilizers, the NPK. So the N is the nitrogen and the K is the potassium. Here we have valerian, and the valerian root is renowned in many circles as being a mild sedative and helping people sleep. So a relaxant. But in particular, the thing that interests me about valerian, again in my research and my wanderings, I have heard that it fixes phosphorus. So it concentrates phosphorus and fixes phosphorus, and that's the P element of our NPK fertilizers. So to make a good liquid manure, if you want to take into account NPK, which are the elements predominantly required, but not only required, then you can make a good vegan manure if you wanted to without the cow manure, simply by growing these herbs and cutting them off in big chunks and putting them into the liquid manure so that they can ferment and release all those minerals. So here is another good additive for your liquid manures, and you can put this into the base of your watering can when you go to add your own brew to it. And this is basically a seaweed concentrate. So this is another extra dose of minerals which your plants will love. So from the seaweed concentrate, the inoculant from the manure, the paramagnetic life capturing qualities of the quartz crystal and the rock dust, all brewing in this bin with heat and the addition of some herb, and I use alfalfa, valerian and borage, we get a pretty good mix. And when you put that into your watering can, depending on how concentrated you want the manure, and that could be anywhere from 1/4, anywhere up to 1/2 of the can, and you can dilute it down with water. But there's another very good trick which I'll show you, and I can do this because I have ducks. And here we have it. This is the duck pond, and this is due for a change, but this is just also perfect for use as a liquid manure. So it's got a bit of an algae growth, and it's got this nice pea green colour, and it's full of manure from the ducks. So we use this on the garden, and you can also top up the watering can. So this makes a great liquid manure for your plants, full of nitrogen, but also full of lots of wonderful minerals, highly bioavailable, and it inoculates the soil, so we get lots of good microorganisms, because they are the little critters that transform these minerals and make them more bioavailable and make the nitrogen available for the plants as well. And we need lots of those. Also too, a nice decent amount of organic matter in the soil. So this is the duck pond where the girls come and swim, and perhaps I can show you a photo of those lovely ladies. And when you put it all together, you have something pretty magical, and the plants will love it. So I hope that was helpful for you, and it is pretty simple. Once you have all those ingredients together, it takes no time at all to make a batch of liquid manure. Let it ferment for several weeks and put it onto your fruits and vegetables, especially your leafy greens, around the bases of the plants. Saturate the soil, water it in well, and you can do that every several weeks depending on how often you think those plants need it, how fast they're growing and what they're looking like. And the more you grow your plants, the better feel you have for it. Connect with your garden. That's your food. It's your life. Have fun. See you soon.